97.3. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. When we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. When we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the team, and my so say, Omudifikebi Ebeshe ya councilman. That's our Sikano, the delegate, TNT. Me as regional secretary, you're saying details of the Tikana ya deposit. Emma, each council, number of targeted delegates, and I say delegates are each constituency. Sikano is a common chain.
Fallouts from the NDC National Democratic Congress just ended primaries. Suspicion and allegations of misappropriation is rocking the Greater Accra Regional NDC as Chairman Ni Ashimo stands accused in the non-payment of the 40 cedis given by former President John Mahama to delegates ahead of the primaries. We'll be hearing from the party secretary tonight. Also coming up, we'll soon return to the international markets to borrow following the signing of the IMF deal. Not my words.
There's no rush to get back, but nevertheless, obviously, why not? Can we not take advantage of global savings? It makes a lot of sense to be able to do that. And the sooner we can do it, better. So we're going to try as much as possible to maintain the discipline which is required, which is the most important prerequisite of a successful program.
And later, Ghana's judicial system to grind to a halt as judicial service staff announced a nationwide strike effective immediately. Stay with 97.3 CTFM for more of this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
stakeholders in the financial sector urge to collaborate more to improve cybersecurity structure in the country.
that's Nettie Nettie from the City Business Desk. She'll be back in some 50 minutes with details from the world of business. Eyewitness News live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations on Adwinpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Sky Power 93.5 in Takrady, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. Also in Sunyani on Greener 95.9 FM, in Kumasi, in Kawi rather, on Adwinpa 99.9 FM, in Hohwe on Heritage 107.3 FM, in Sogakope on Freedom 88.1 FM, in Saboba on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM, in Upper East on Quality FM 88.7 FM in Garu, and in Nalirigu on Nobia FM 98.1. Do send us your message 0549-986. That's WhatsApp number 0549-986-996. You can also send tweets using the hashtag City Newsroom. Tweet at Umaru Sanda or at City973. We are live on YouTube. We are live on citynewsroom.com. We are live on Facebook. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And ahead of the NDC primaries, which was last weekend, actually 2 weekends ago, former President John Dramani Mahama made a pledge to party delegates that he was going to give them transportation allowances for the day. 40 cedis, that's how much each delegate was to get if they showed up to cast their ballot on election day. Now, a week or so after the election, it is emerging that a number of delegates of the party, especially in the Greater Accra region, have not received their share of the money. The accusation is that the Greater Accra Regional Secretariat of the party has been sitting on the money and failing to disburse same to the delegates who have gone to cast their ballot at the polling station. Tonight, we've called up the Regional Secretary of the NDC, that's the Greater Accra Regional Secretary, who is a former Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central, the Honorable Theophilus Tetechai, for more on this. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Hello, Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening to your listeners.
Good evening. So the elections done, John Mahama has won, everybody moved on. It turns out that not everybody has moved on because there are some delegates of your party who are not happy. They said the money that was promised them, the 40 cedis that John Mahama had said was going to be given to them, that money was released but it never got to their pockets. What happened?
Thank you very much. It's rather unfortunate we have such a situation. But it is very difficult to ascertain the truth or otherwise of this story. But our worry is the mentioning of regional executives in this matter. And we just wanted to set the record straight that the disbursement of such funds were not done at the regional secretariat as people, I believe, to understand. And that is why we have to come in and clarify the issues. So disbursements were made not by the regional secretariat as was widely reported.
What was the structure for the disbursement of the money? Was there any directive from the office of former President Mahama in relation to how this money was going to be given to the delegates?
Well, these are delegates' resources. And in our party, we have channels of responsibility for each party official. And I believe that this is the duty of the treasurers of the party to ensure that resources go where they have to go. But if that is not the case, then it is very unfortunate. But all the same, like I said in my earlier interview, it has got nothing to do with the entire regional executive committee, because the distribution of such resources was not done at the regional secretariat. It was done by the campaign manager, who happens to be the regional chairman. So I directed those who wanted to do inquiries in terms of how the money were disbursed to go to the regional chairman and not to shift the blame on the entire regional executive committee, which did not do the disbursement.
I see. So again, just trying to learn the structure. When the former president made the promise, was the money paid into the party account at the regional level or constituency level or national level for onward distribution to the voters? Because our reporters who covered the election at some centers said that they saw delegates receiving the 40 CDs at some of the voting centers after they went to cast their votes. And this money was given to them by party officials who were stationed at the place for the purpose. What was the structure in your region like? Was the money paid into your regional account?
Same. Monies were paid into our regional account.
Okay. And that money means is for you. For what were you supposed to do with it?
Well, these are monies for delegates, and there was a channel for distribution. And what I'm saying is that the resources were not distributed by the treasurer of the region. It is the regional chairman that did the disbursement.
The regional chairman is also incidentally the campaign manager for the former president in Greater Accra, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so when money enters into your party account, who are the signatories? Who are the ones who can withdraw that money?
Well, all what I'm saying is that resources were put into our accounts. It happened that the resources were withdrawn, and it is the party chairman that disburses the money. So the regional executives do not hold that responsibility.
Okay, but
it should be the treasurer of the party so that he can be held accountable. But once he's not the treasurer that distributed the money, why should we suffer disbursement issues?
Who signed to withdraw?
The executive team should not suffer the disbursement issues.
Who signed to withdraw the money from the account?
Well, that one I don't know. But what I know is that we have a channel for withdrawal of resources in our account. And it is the party chairman that oversaw the disbursement. So if there are issues with disbursement, it is the regional chairman that has to come and respond to the issues.
As a regional bloc, you did not have any discussion on how the money was going to be distributed with your chairman so that you can all take a collective blame or celebration?
In our party, regional chairmen don't distribute money. It's the treasurers of the party.
But in this particular instance, it was the chairman who distributed the money.
That is why I'm saying that as a result of that, any issue that arises out of the distribution should be laid to his doorsteps and not any other member of the party.
But my question is, how did he have access to the money, which money was paid in the party's name? So you are the administrator of the party in the region. Are you a signatory to the bank account?
I'm not a mandatory signatory to the bank account.
So who are the signatories? Who
I come in when one is not available.
Who are the two who sign on to the cash?
The chairman and the treasurer.
Have you checked whether your treasurer signed on for the money to be withdrawn?
Definitely, if resources have to be taken out, the treasurer needs to be informed.
Why didn't
you need two signatories to the account.
Okay, so how then is the money in one person's hands and not in the treasurer's hands?
That is why you need to inquire from them.
Has the treasurer told you? Has the treasurer told you that he has gone to the bank to withdraw the money?
The treasurer went to withdraw the money, but the money was not brought to the region for disbursement, and that is the issue.
Where did he take it to, the treasurer?
The treasurer never took the money. It was the chairman that took the money to his personal office.
Interesting. So that's not the structure. That's not how you run your party structure.
That is not the structure of the party. That is not how we run issues in terms of resources. That is not the structure.
Did you take any?
That's why when the issue came out, the other regional executives were angry because that is not the party structure. And when somebody violates the party structure, why should all of us be held accountable?
So your chairman collected the money from the bank and took it to his office, as in his party office or his private office?
You can call the chairman to respond to those issues because I was
because you say he took it to his office. I just want to know whether his party
that
office.
was where the disbursements were done.
Is
The information we had.
Is it in the party office or his personal office?
I'm saying it is not the party office. Resources were not disbursed at the regional secretariat. Not at all.
So for your members and delegates who are thinking that you at the regional level sat on the money, what's your message to them if they're listening to us now?
And that is why we had to come out and clear our name from this issue. Because for them, they know the procedures. And once the procedures have been violated, we need to tell them exactly what happened so that nobody holds us accountable for how resources were distributed, who had and who didn't get.
Since the issues came up, did you contact your chairman to find out what he did with the money?
All what we know is that the resources were not brought to the region for disbursement.
Yes,
he went distributed the money himself, and that is all.
Yeah, but did you ask him what happened?
My brother, the information that is needed, I have given it to you. If you want further clarity, the chairman is there. You can call the chairman to also respond. I have said that.
You are the regional secretary. If my understanding is correct, the secretary is usually the face of the party, even though the chairman leads the party, and that's the national level. I don't know how it plays out at the region, but the way you're speaking is almost as if you, the regional secretary, may be speaking on behalf of the rest of the executives, are distancing yourself from your own chairman. Is there a problem within the NDC Greater Accra Regional Branch?
No, when rules are violated, do you want us to take a collective responsibility for any mishap? No. No, not at all.
When a rule is
rules and regulations are deliberately flouted, and then issues come up, do you want us to take responsibility for the mess? Not at all.
What steps would be taken to rectify this through the legal or administrative process now that you have said that rules have been violated?
Yeah, once some of these things come up, that will also lead to the reformation that we are all looking out for. That the right processes, the right structures should be followed so that when issues come up, you have the entirety of the party knowing exactly what has transpired, and then we'll be able to support the issues.
What is your relationship with your chairman like?
We are members of the party working together to ensure that we win the 2024 general election.
Is there any problem between the two sides, your side and then his side?
There's nothing like my side and their side, not at all. We are working as a party, and the party is guided by rules and regulations. When rules and regulations are violated, it will lead to consequences, and that is why we are all talking today.
Are you friends with your chairman?
Yes, he's my former colleague in parliament.
Is he your friend?
I've been in parliament with him.
We are speaking about the now. Is he your friend?
Is that the issue we are talking about?
It's important for
my brother. My brother.
Yes.
That is not the issue we are discussing now.
I guess
we are discussing something that has come to the fore. Delegates complaining about resources that should accrue to them that has not gotten to them. And all the regional executives being lumped up to be part of what has taken place. And we are distancing ourselves from it because we were not part of the process.
Is this the first time an irregularity like that has happened involving your chairman?
Well, we are now forming as a group. Mistakes will be made. But once the mistakes are made, it is up to us to accept the mistakes and then correct and then move on. And I believe what has just happened is something that we are all going to learn and then ensure that processes are followed through so that at the end of the day, whatever we want to achieve as a team will be collective.
Has there been any grave mistake made by your chairman in the past since you took office?
That one I don't know.
Finally, someone wants me to ask you if, as a delegate yourself, you got your money or you did not.
I'm a regional executive member. And I know resources were distributed to the branches. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue at stake now is what the branches are talking about, and not we at the regional level. Not at all.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us.
I'm so grateful.
That's the Honorable Theophilus Tete Chai. He is the Greater Accra Regional Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. We have called the Honorable Ni Ashimo for a reaction to this. He's told us he's out of the country. He says he will be back to town tomorrow, and if he does, he would give us a response to the allegations against him. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
It's true that life can be complicated, and navigating the realities of the modern world even more so. Sometimes you can find yourself in trouble just because you didn't know better. But as the adage goes, ignorance of the law is no excuse. A Question of Law seeks to deconstruct the legal framework within which our daily lives function. A Question of Law airs at 6 p.m. this and every Thursday, only on City TV.
For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back to Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. Let's do some more stories. The National Food Suppliers Association has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the National Food Buffer Stock Company, demanding the payment of outstanding debts. The association expressed concern that the credibility of their members has been compromised, making it difficult for them to continue operating in their businesses. Despite previous attempts to bring attention to their grievances, the suppliers claim government has not responded to their pleas. In response to the lack of action, the spokesperson of the association, Kweku Amedume, indicated that the group has planned to picket at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company once the ultimatum period elapses.
The National Food Buffer Stock Company has, for the past 1.5 years, failed to pay for the various foodstuffs supplied to the secondary schools by our members. Apart from the numerous letters addressed to the Office of the Chief of Staff, the Ministry of Education, and the National Food Buffer Stock Company, several attempts have been made by members of our association to have their monies paid to them, but all have proven to be unsuccessful. We are by this press conference serving notice to the National Food Buffer Stock Company that failure to pay us in 14 days from now, all the arrears owe our members, we will resort to picketing in the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. And we will sleep there. We will go there with our mattresses. Yay! We will go there with our coffees. Yay! We will go there with everything that we have in our houses. Yay! We are going to create another house in Buffer Stock. Yay! We will be there till our money is settled. Yay! We don't go sit down, make the cheaters every day.
You heard the spokesperson of the National Food Suppliers Association, Kweku Amedume.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. Let's talk about the judiciary now. And it appears our judicial system may grant to a halt because of an announcement that has been made by the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG. The association's secretary is Abdullahi Yakubu. He's joined us on the line now. Abdullahi, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Morrisanda.
So you've called a strike. Effective when? For how long?
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you for having me. Thanks to staff of the Judicial Service of Ghana. We've called a strike effective now because from today, tomorrow onward. And today the working hours are over and our strike is effective from now onward.
What does your strike mean in practice? Who and who would stop working?
Okay. All staff of the Judicial Service, the administrative staff of the Judicial Service, are supposed to stay off work. In fact, we've directed them that all of them should stay out of office. And that will include the court registrars, court recorders, interpreters, cashiers, filing clerk, process clerk, the registrars themselves.
The court registrar, the one who runs the courts,
yes,
the courtroom.
Yes, please. All of them are supposed to stay off work until the strike is called off. For security men, they are supposed to be around to guard the security installations. And they are also supposed to allow anybody entry into the premises of the Judicial Service, especially the people who come to assess our work. No court registrar is supposed to receive or file any process during the period of the strike. They're not even supposed to report to work at all.
Wait, so if I have a case which involves bringing it to the court, maybe the civil division, I should forget.
In fact, I would advise you to forget of it because you meet anybody at the court to receive it.
The only person who will be there is a judge.
Yes, please.
But the judge cannot run the court with the...
The judge cannot run. You have to first of all pay money for somebody to file the process. Or before it comes to the registrar, for registrar to place it before the judge. So technically, or practically, the course will not work.
And this is from what? Lowest of the courts to the highest?
From the Supreme Court up to the District Court. And it extends to the administrative services, i.e. the HR department, the finance department, audit, and all other administrative offices of the Judicial Service.
What if I have a continuing case and I'm supposed to come to court tomorrow? Should I show up?
Please, I would advise you to stay at home because it will be a waste of your time.
If I don't come and they bring bench warrant, I'll say it is you who told me not to come.
Oh, it is the bailiff who will bring the bench warrant. It is the judge and the registrar who will sign for you to come, and these people will not be at work. So who will bring the bench warrant for you?
That's interesting. Now, there's this law that police should not hold someone for more than 48 hours. They have to put that person before court or grant some bail of a sort. If the police is faced with such a situation, they need to bring a suspect to you tomorrow. What happens to that suspect?
I think the police will be in a better position to answer, and the President of the Republic of Ghana will be in a better position to provide a solution to this one.
Okay.
We did everything to avoid where we are now.
It's good you mentioned the President. So I want us to now take it from the bottom. I just wanted to know the effect of your strike before we go to the cause of the strike. Why are you on strike?
We are on strike because our salaries and related allowances have not been reviewed for 2 years, 5 months now. Our salaries are reviewed every 2 years. The last review was from January 2021 to December 2022. So in January 2023, we were supposed to have a new salary implemented for us. Umar, you recall that government introduced the COLA 15% when we all saw that the economy was very hard, and it's still hard for everybody. In December, government took away the COLA and increased all other public sector workers' salary by 30%. Government took away the COLA of judicial service staff, but failed to implement the reviewed salaries and related allowances for staff of the judicial service. Meanwhile, the economic conditions that necessitated the introduction of the COLA are now more pronounced than even at the time that it was introduced. And you expect us to bear this. So what we're asking for is that government should give us the new salary. In January, in fact, we wrote to the president asking that they should maintain the COLA in the interim. So that as and when we conclude with a new salary, then they can take away the COLA and implement a new one like they did for other public sector workers, and that was declined. Then we asked that expedite action on our new salary so that we don't suffer for too long. January, February, March, April, we are now in May, and nothing has happened.
What was the level of discussions you've had? What kind of letters have you written? What kind of agreements have you signed which have failed you?
Okay, when the Judicial Council sent their recommendation to the President for his determination in accordance with Article 149 of the Constitution, Judicial Service was now, they didn't have a mandate to handle the matter. It was now only the President of the Ghana who is given that mandate to give us the approval. So we first had to engage in-house by writing to the Chief Justice then, by Lord Justice Enidia, who was to intervene by pushing for us at the presidency. He gave us his assurance and did his own pushing at the presidency for us to get. We were not getting it. Then on May Day, when we appeared in Bolga, you could see our placards all over, drawing President Akufo-Addo's attention to it. He saw everything that happened on the May Day. He did not mind us. On 5th of May, we wrote to the president himself, now asking that he should grant us this approval. Otherwise, if after 12th May he did not grant it for us, we're going to advise ourselves. And we're going to embark on industrial action by wearing red armbands for 1 week and then the slave strike. And we had to comply with the law by writing to the Labour Commission to inform them of that also, and copied the Labour Minister, the Finance Minister, and then the Chief of Staff so that they will be aware of what we intend to do. Nobody acknowledged receipt of our letter. Nobody tried to engage us to see how the matter could be resolved. And to the Labour Commission, which is known for normally being used by government to intimidate workers when they attempt to demand what is rightfully due them. Summoned the Finance Ministry, the Labour Ministry, and copied the Chief of Staff for us to appear on 10th. On 10th, we appeared, and government said, I'm repeating that, failed to appear. On your show, Umar Osanda, the Executive Secretary of the Commission said that it's not true that government side did not appear. In fact, the Deputy Director who came on that day came at the later part of the meeting. The surprising part was that whereas government was not there, the Labour Commission appeared to be speaking for the government by saying that, oh, the government has received the report just some 20 days ago, and he used the word just. We said, well, don't say just. The government is not there to make that determination. For us, 20 days is enough for you to give us the approval. And they said government has a lot of business. And we were wondering how a neutral arbiter, a neutral adjudicating body will be holding grip an absentee party who did not even see the need to write to give reasons why they will not appear on that day for them. The commission gave us their directive that we should stay away to embark on any industrial action. Government should engage us to resolve the matter within 14 days and report outcome. We pleaded for 1 week and they declined and insisted on their 2 weeks. We said, okay, fine, we hear you. And they directed the Labour Ministry to convene that meeting with us. We went and sat down every day, keeping our phones on charge, hoping for a call, keeping our office open, hoping for a letter to invite us. For good 14 days, nobody in government gave us a call to come for the matter to be resolved as directed by the Labour Commission. Nobody wrote any letter to us for us to resolve this matter. Until today, when they were expecting us to go there again. So the Labour Commission to do the same thing and for them to come and buy time. In fact, the interesting part is that when the Labour Commission was served as the ruling, it was dated 9 when the meeting was held on 10. And we took the view that per their posture, they had a predetermined mindset and perhaps prepared their ruling even before we came to them on the 10th. When their attention was drawn to it, they brought a letter to withdraw the ruling that has been set on us and said they were going to set a new one on us. Fortunately or unfortunately for them, they did not bring us the new ruling. So technically, there wasn't any ruling binding on us because they withdrew their own letter. We went to the deputy minister appeared there and gave the same excuses that the president was out of town, finance minister was IMF, and blah, blah, those kind of things. Meanwhile, the vice president is there to act on behalf of the president. There are deputy finance ministers. The president has the time and the resources to fly their ministers to go to Kumewu to campaign and spread cash there just because that is important to them.
The spreading of the cash part is an allegation for now. We've not seen.
Okay, so I withdraw that part. But they had the chance to go. You could see them campaign. Even the vice president went there some few days to the election. But they did not have the time to attend to our issue that has been on their desk at least since over a month ago. So today we have decided that where we have gotten to, we've done our part. We've considered the posture of government from the start of this issue up to now, and the fact that even when we started up to today, no government official has perhaps spoken to the media for you to have an assurance that we can have something being done for us. So today we decided that where we have gotten to, we have had enough of the tactics from government side, and our members have bear the brunt of the economic hardship enough. They can no longer bear it. We will have to take that difficult decision by laying down our tools. And we will come back to work when His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, grants the approval of the new salaries. And the Finance Minister forwards him to controller or controller to input to assure us that the new salary will be paid with all the arrears from January out to the date of the approval. Then we will come back and continue with work.
You mentioned that there was an intervention which did not succeed from the Chief Justice, Kwesieni Yeboah. Incidentally, he's retiring today. I don't know if you chose today deliberately to coincide with his retirement or it's just a coincidence. But whichever the case may be, if he has failed in solving your problem or intervening in the matter, what is going to happen is who can really intervene and bring a solution to this your issue? Because you can go directly to the president. You've mentioned that the agents in the middle there are not moving the chips that have to be moved properly for the solution to be found. What is going to happen? Who can really solve this problem for you?
The solution to this problem lies on the desk of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. And our doors are open if he is willing to engage us and grant our demands for us.
Until then, you are not going back to the court's rooms.
I'm sorry, we wouldn't be able to resume work.
Even if a promise or an assurance is given you?
No. After the promise and the assurance, we've had, well, from our management side, the intervention that they were pushing, it did not work. So what we want, if we are going to get an assurance, it will take something being put on paper about the figures. Even as it stands now, we don't even know whether government intends to give us full approval of what was recommended or half approval. Nobody is saying anything from government side. So if government will want us to consider them serious, then they should bring something on paper, put it on paper for us to sign. Now this is what we are giving you to be implemented using this roadmap ABC. Then we have that full proper assurance, but for verbal assurance and the tactics that they are noted for doing, we are not able, we're not willing, and our members are not ready for anything like that.
Wish you all the best. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much, Umar.
That's Abdullah Yakubu. He's General Secretary of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAC. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. I know you have more stories, don't you?
Yes, I have more stories from the courts. The Supreme Court has upheld its decision to strike out provisions in the Narcotic Control Commission Act that allowed for the cultivation of certain kinds of cannabis for medicinal and industrial purposes. This follows a 5-4 decision dismissing a review application filed by the Office of the Attorney General. The Supreme Court had earlier ruled in favor of an applicant who invoked the original jurisdiction of the Apex Court to strike the provision which was legislated in violation of Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution. According to the applicant, the said provision was introduced without an explanatory memorandum as mandated by law. The Apex Court, after considering the review application, dismissed it for not meeting the threshold.
So, it means you cannot do in Tampe farm in Ghana.
No, you cannot. So that's a lot of money
Charlie,
Lost.
people are making money somewhere.
Yes, they are.
So we have to bend the heads now. Instead
Yeah.
of growing them, we have to bend them.
Bend them.
Oh, Ashi Omu.
Ashomorov. off.
I was going to say Ashi, but it'll come to me. So let's leave it here. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF. And we'll return. We'll talk about the IMF money that has come and the fact that it has opened doors for more money to come, according to the president.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Insightful, intriguing, intelligent, and informative. The City Breakfast Show offers an attractive alternative to the noisy mishmash of morning radio. Tune in to the City Breakfast Show for passionate discussions on issues that matter and enjoy interviews where duty bearers and decision makers have their feet held to the fire. The City Breakfast Show airs from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday on 97.3 City FM.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Chairman! Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now, President Akufo-Addo says government will begin a rigorous expenditure cut to meet the IMF conditionalities. The president says government is eager to turn the fortunes of the country around. Speaking at the Qatar Africa Economic Forum in Doha, Nana Akufo-Addo says the IMF bailout will help revive the Ghanaian economy.
Rationalization of our expenditures, the rationalization of government expenditures is something that we have given the assurance. The domestic revenue mobilization is absolutely critical for us. Already we're beginning to see signs of that. We are the fiscal deficit to come back within the thresholds. That we have a law, a fiscal responsibility law in Ghana, which has pegged our fiscal deficits at 5%. At the moment, is way above that, and the sooner we can bring that again to a more acceptable threshold, the better it is for our economy. So these are all several areas of activity that we see as being absolutely essential for the future of our country.
How concerned are you that, Ghana next year has an election, you'll be leaving office. Are you concerned, considering inflation right now is north of 40%, there's already a lot that Ghanaians are enduring, that this could potentially hurt your party going into the next election?
I think that the global situation is not very kind to incumbent governments all over the world, and our situation will be no different. But at the same time, I believe that we have enough time. We have 18 months. I leave office in January 25, which is literally 18 months, 19 months from now, to be able, with a very disciplined approach to the implementation of the IMF program, the repositioning of our economy, to be able to bring some growth back into the economy, some relief back to our population, to be able to convince them that yes, it's worth them continuing the journey with my party and the new leader of our party who we'll choose in December this year, November this year.
There's been some criticism about Ghana was the first country to go through the G20 Common Framework. There's been some criticism that there are too many delays. It takes too long. We've heard the IMF director say that there's a lot of progress to be made. What would you say? What needs to be done for those other countries that are?
I think that there's a lot of validity in the criticism about the period that is involved in the con. In our case, the 11 months, the 10 to 11 months that it's taken from the time we approached the IMF in July last year to the May result is a relatively speedy exercise as far as that's concerned.
So you have no criticisms?
No, because we could have wanted the program to end earlier. But nevertheless, it has been faster for us in Ghana than it has been for many other countries. So clearly it's an area where the global community, working through the IMF and the Bank, the World Bank, needs to look at to see how more quickly they can respond to difficulties in individual economies going under the common framework of the G20.
President Akufo-Addo added that Ghana will soon return to the international market to borrow to fund important infrastructural projects.
There's no rush to get back, but nevertheless, obviously, why not? Can we not take advantage of global savings? It makes a lot of sense to be able to do that. And the sooner we can do it, better. I think that what the finance minister means is that we're going to try as much as possible to maintain the discipline which is required, which is the most important prerequisite of a successful program.
Right.
And that would mean ramping up our own domestic savings, being able to put systematic controls over public expenditure to make sure that we are always cutting our coat according to our cloth, and giving the impetus to private sector development, private sector investment. We're looking at that more than we're looking for assistance from multilateral development banks. But basically, these are the objectives that we are. At the end of it, of course, hopefully, position the economy of Ghana in such a way that we have a more diversified economy, we have a stronger economy that can withstand the exogenous shocks that we have witnessed in the last 2 or 3 years, and be able, therefore, to stand on our own feet much better in the future.
You heard President Akufo-Addo speaking at the Qatar Africa Economic Forum in Doha.
And the key headline that has emerged from that conversation is that we are going to go back to the international market and borrow. We are going to borrow soon, and that's because the IMF has given us the green light and the support we need. That's a conversation we've had the day that the deal was clinched. That conversation, I had it with Joe Jackson of Dalex Finance. He prayed and warned the government against opening the floodgates to more borrowing. It appears the gate has been cracked open. Joe Jackson is joining me on the line. Joe, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Mara. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you too. When we spoke, you gave an advice. You also prayed that what has happened should not signal for us an opportunity to go and borrow more. It appears we are going to go there. Before I ask your reaction to that, this IMF $3 billion money, $3 billion that we are talking about, is it a loan that we are going to pay back, or is it a gift IMF has given to us?
Umaro, it is not a gift. I repeat, it is not a gift. It is a loan we have to pay back. The IMF does not give gifts.
And I've seen publications suggesting that China may take over our natural resources if we are not able to pay back some monies. Explain that to us too, if it is even true.
Well, what happened was when we borrowed from China, we used some assets. In this case, revenues and from certain energy projects and also the bauxite as collateral. Since we have defaulted, the risk is that China will come and take over the collateral. We hope that since they are in negotiation, that won't happen, but it is a real risk.
I see. And
we have defaulted.
That's if we default.
We have already defaulted.
Is there a way out of it now?
Well, there's a negotiation going on with China. So we pray that that negotiation will end well, such that he won't take over our collateral and we'll be able to start making payments at the appropriate time. They are going to give us time to pay back rather than take over the collateral.
I've got people ask me, they say, well, IMF just gave you 3 billion 2 days ago. Why is your president saying he's going for more money or he's going to borrow more? Explain to us how these things work.
Imaro, first of all, I think it's time to say that I'm not sure, and I really am not clear in my mind whether the president, His Excellency, the President of Ghana, is talking about borrowing in the next year or so, or he's talking about borrowing somewhere in the next 3-4 years from the international Eurobond or commercial paper market. Because we haven't even finished negotiating the deal with the current creditors. We haven't dotted the I's and crossed the T's. We have a commitment as to the way forward, but the deal has not been finalized yet. In fact, it is one of the things we are supposed to do as a performance indicator under the IMF bailout. So before we finish negotiating, dotting the I's and crossing the T's on our debt that we have defaulted since December, that we are thinking about another going back to the market soon. It baffles me a bit.
But
the only explanation I have is that the president's definition of soon is different from our definition of soon. And that soon his time horizons must be different. Because we haven't even, the ink is not dry on the agreement yet.
But he's just stating the obvious. That's what we are looking for. We just wanted an opportunity to go back to the market. That is the whole idea behind this IMF deal, isn't it? And so if we have clenched it, we might as well go ahead with our original plan, which is to get freedom outside there to borrow more, borrow ourselves back into a hole maybe.
The point of the IMF deal is one, to help us negotiate with current debtors. So there's a debt negotiation that should be done. Part of that debt negotiation involves domestic debtors and foreign debtors. Part of it is increasing our ability to pay our debt, which is the revenue enhancement. Part of it is reducing our expenditure. And all three together will help us bring us to the point where we are now managing our finances better and we can go back to the market.
And part of it is to give us the credibility that we require so that the doors will not be shut on us again.
Yes, but we haven't even finished negotiating the old deal.
But there's light at the end of the tunnel, so Kanushi.
Well, but it depends on how long your tunnel is. Your tunnel, maybe if your tunnel is can be walked in 6 months, then it's very different from the tunnel I'm looking at, which will take at least 2 years to walk.
So at what point would you say, I mean, the ink has dried now, we can start knocking at the doors of Eurobond?
At the point where the revenue we expect the public revenues have demonstrably gone up at the point where we've reduced the size of government and we've made an attempt at the structural changes that will cause this economy to be sustainable.
Well,
we are not at that point yet.
Now that so the ministers, in fact, if you listen to the voice from the president or the president where he spoke, the person who was moderating the event swiftly prompted him that the finance minister had said that we are not going to go there soon. Does it sound like, okay, it sounds like there's a contradiction between the minister's plan with this IMF program and the president's own plan? Or I'm not reading between the lines well?
You are. Remember that there had been an earlier indication from the other honorable minister, Aminu Adam, right? And that had been, the Minister of Finance had come back to contradict and say we're not going soon. Now there's a new mixed signal from the president what soon is I don't know what his soon is. But obviously there are mixed signals coming from the Ministry of Finance. The honorable finance minister is saying something else. The other minister and the president are also saying something else. In this case, I align myself, in this particular case, I align myself with what the Minister of Finance is saying, that there's absolutely no hurry and that we have to fix our economy before we go back to that market. In fact, the president at some point said we are not in a hurry. So I'm not sure what to take of, what to make of what he's saying. But what I know is that maybe, just maybe, his definition of soon is different from my definition of soon from where I sit.
Very well. Before I go on, the earlier conversation we had about China and if we default on our loans, you said we've already defaulted. Is it the case that you're being cynical by saying we've already defaulted? Because the publications I'm looking at are suggesting that if we default, which means we have not defaulted yet.
Okay, now remember that we haven't paid, we have signaled to all markets that we are not paying our debts since December. So if it is not due, we are not, strictly speaking, we haven't defaulted. But we have told everybody that we are not going to pay until we finish the negotiation.
Okay, so that's the extrapolation you have made. I think it's clearer now. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
That's Joe Jackson of Dalex Finance helping us make sense of the latest message we're receiving from the president, where he said that we'll soon return to the IMF, not IMF, we'll soon return to the bond market for more loans or to go and borrow more following the IMF, the success of the IMF program. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. We have to end the show here now. My name is Umaru Sandawada. I did this with Eno Safo. Neteli Neti will be coming in next to bring us the latest in the world of business. And then there will be no point blank because the sports team, the City sports team, will be here to bring you commentary and analysis on that game. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Manchester City. That's happening at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. rather. The Eyewitness team, the sports team would be here to do that discussion. Was produced tonight by Beverly London, Wilson Kobna, and Sami Wiafi, with technical support from Daniel Squashi and new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We return tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, So Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
City TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. City TV, it's your world.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citybusinessnews.com. Let's settle for the details. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is calling for deepened collaboration between institutions within the banking and financial industry to improve the cybersecurity structure in the country. This, he believes, will also improve information security resiliency. Dr. Bawumia made the call at the commissioning of the Financial Industry Command Security Operations Center in Accra.
With a coordinated approach between the regulator and member banks, I expect that the FITSOC broadly will support regulated financial institutions to collaboratively fight cybersecurity threats while maintaining independence and confidentiality in day-to-day operations. In addition, FITSOC, part of the critical information infrastructure owned by Bank of Ghana, will undergo mandatory compliance checks and audits under the Cybersecurity Act 2020 to protect Ghana's critical systems and enhance the existing collaborative efforts between the Bank of Ghana and the Cybersecurity Authority. My expectation and that of government is that financial institutions will be better equipped to deal with severe and emerging cyber threats targeting the banking industry, including zero-day threats and advanced persistent threats and exploits, and allow them to make informed decisions regarding the response to those threats.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia speaking there. British Airways has indicated that beginning October 29, 2023, they will increase the number of flights between their Accra and London route with an addition of 3 new return services a week. The new flights, according to the airline, will depart Accra on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Speaking at a press conference in Accra on Wednesday, British Airways Head of Sales for Africa, Middle East, and South Asia, Moran Bejer, said the airline is restoring its African network after the pandemic, and this has given them an opportunity to carefully consider the routes and regions where there is potential for growth.
We're expanding our schedule to Ghana and launching an additional 3 weekly flights between Accra and London Gatwick. The flights will operate every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, leaving Accra at 9:20 p.m. and arriving at Gatwick at 4 in the morning the following day. And the Accra-bound flight from London Gatwick will depart at midday, arriving back here at 6:35 p.m. For a long time, we've kind of reviewed our schedules. We've obviously had to relook at it during the pandemic and make some schedule cuts, but having looked at it and having seen where the growth opportunities are in which markets really kind of need more capacity, where we can put more capacity, Accra is certainly one of those markets, and I'd say that generally speaking, Africa is certainly one of those regions. So the fact that we're putting on extra capacity, it's about 30% more seats that we're going to be putting out every single week. It just means that there's going to be a lot more affordable seats as we increase the capacity. And also, we do start selling the seats 355 days in advance, so our best deals are going to be available further up on flights.
That was the British Airways head of sales for Africa, Middle East, and South Asia, Moran Bijou. Banks received the highest number of complaints of customers in the financial sector in 2022. This was captured in the Complaints Management Function annual report released by the Bank of Ghana. According to the report, out of 983 complaints that the Market Conduct Office of the Central Bank received last year, majority of them came from banks. This represents an increase of 15% compared to the 857 complaints recorded in 2021. The rise was largely attributed to the increase in awareness of the general public and the confidence reposed in the Bank of Ghana to use its supervisory authority to resolve complaints. The report, however, noted that 89% of the complaints were resolved. It further noted that complaints from customers of savings and loans companies, rural and community banks, and licensed institutions increased marginally in 2022 as compared to the same period in 2021. On the contrary, finance houses and microfinance institutions dropped in 2022. The Bank of Ghana, however, noted that it will continue to enforce compliance with the regulatory framework, drive strict adherence to ethical and professional standards, and educate consumers on their rights and responsibilities. Moving on, as the month of June gets closer, City TV and City FM is preparing to bring you the most anticipated business program, the City Business Festival, from Monday, June 5. The City Business Festival is a month-long initiative marked with on-air and outdoor events and is held annually in the month of June to equip the Ghanaian business community with strategies needed to grow and scale up their ventures. Speaking on the preparations on the City Breakfast Show, Chief Executive Officer of City FM and City TV, Samuel Atamensa, stated that this year's event will be generally themed around the Made in Ghana agenda.
This year has all the components of our business festival, but our overarching theme for this year is Make It Ghana.
Make it Ghana. Make it big.
Which we experienced during our Heritage Month, and it's also popping up for our business festival. What we are saying is that it's time to celebrate Ghana. It's time to celebrate Ghanaian efforts. It's time to celebrate Ghanaian businesses.
Okay.
Thing is, we have capable business people in Ghana.
Okay.
But have we celebrated them enough? Or have we celebrated our efforts enough? How about the fisher folk? Those who spend sleepless nights going fishing on the sea. Some go, never return. All these things. So we are celebrating businesses right from the basic construct of businesses to the top. So you'll be finding fisher folk, you find market women, will be, so it's a whole celebration of Ghanaian businesses.
He also highlighted the main programs outlined under the program.
The festival will have our on-air series on radio, where business education on various topics. So every morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. and also from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
There'll be a repeat.
So there'll be a repeat. So every day you are given the opportunity to be part of it. So this is on radio. And then on television, we have weekly forums.
Okay.
Once a week forums that will be airing on various topics. And also for TV, we'll be having feature stories celebrating Ghanaian businesses.
Wonderful.
And also exploring some of the details and the challenges of some of these businesses at the retail level, the SME level, coming up to manufacturing and services. So we are, it has a wide footprint. This year, our boot camp is back. That's the management boot camp where we have middle to high level managers camped in one place for a quick MBA style management education, which is the management boot camp. We've spoken about it on this platform before. It starts on the 26th of June, ends on the 1st of July.
That was the CEO of City FM and City TV, Samuel Atamensa, speaking there. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, is expressing fears that Ghana continues to lose out on the African Continental Free Trade Area market due to the instability in the country's business environment. Not only that, the union says cross-border trade has also been affected negatively. It points to escalating tariffs and high taxes as key factors stifling traders, thereby exacerbating the plight of business owners. President of News interview said government must prioritize the elimination of these barriers to boost intra-Africa trade.
We flat out, we are insignificant. We are insignificant. We have the Continental Free Trade Area headquarters here. And what have we to show of our exports? Go to the manufacturers and ask them, how many containers were you able to ship out to the neighboring countries? As compared to what Rwanda is doing, what Kenya is doing, what South Africa is doing, and what even the other neighboring countries are doing, we are insignificant. We are irrelevant in the scheme of affairs of the Continental Free Trade. And this should tell us something. Because the cost of doing business, because in the modern business, what everybody is expecting, quality and cost, affordability and cost. So you cannot be in competition when your prices are overpriced, when your industrialization agenda is overpriced. When D1F is overpriced, it means that you are not going to get the patronage. And so what would you have achieved? So sometimes we think that we are using taxation to build the nation, but the reverse takes place where we do not even know. Now the cross-border trade that we do in the sub-region, and we have bigger importers here in Ghana than Togo. Togo is a small country, but people do go to Togo and buy these goods that are also imported and bring it to Ghana and sell it cheaper than what the local importer have.
That was the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, Dr. Joseph Obeng. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. It was powered by your most comprehensive business news site, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Nete. Have a good evening.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.